So I'm pleased to be here with Kate again. This is the second time we've come together to be in this wonderful landscape of Dartmoor. And Kate, as you remember from the last video I made with her, lives on Dartmoor National Park and is a poet. And she's brought me up to Scorhill today. There's a wonderful stone circle nearby, but we thought we'd come and have a look at the Tolmen stone, which is got a lot of legend associated with it, but it has a completely circular hole all the way through it. Is that right?
It does,
and,
yeah.
Right. And we think this was caused by the erosion of the water over the years.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you know the meaning of the word Tolmen?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Well, I do.
Well, you'll have to enlighten me then.
The word splits into two Celtic words. Tol means hole, and men, M-E-A-N, is stone. So it means a holed stone.
Well, that's exactly what it is. They got that right, didn't
they got that right, didn't they?
Yes.
So it said that if you climb through it, you will be relieved of all your aches and pains, illnesses and arthritis. Is that right?
I've heard such things.
Yeah.
I've also heard that if you climb through the hole, then you'll get married in the next year or something like that, before a year has lapsed.
Wow. Wow. That's worth the risk then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose if you want to get married, yes.
And you're stood in front of, is that a hawthorn or a rowan tree? Would you know?
No, I don't know.
Don't know.
This one, actually.
It could be either, could it?
I think it's more likely to be a rowan.
A rowan.
Yeah.
Well, we can check that, and it is just a wonderful setting with the Dartmoor water coming through.
And this is the River Tee.
And this is the River Tee.
But there's different parts, so I'm not sure if this is North Tee.
Okay.
I know it is divided into different parts, and then they meet and then go into other rivers also.
Okay. So Kate's leading me towards another common feature on Dartmoor, which is the clapper bridges. And these are simply huge pieces of granite just put over the waterway.
Yep, here I think there's like two pieces. Yeah.
Sandy area here, and so we have
I thought that bit was higher,
right,
but it is sometimes higher.
Yeah.
And they all kind of run into this
And
pool,
into this pool, yeah.
which is a nice paddling spot.
Nice
when
paddling
it's
spot.
Very hot.
Yeah. Not,
And even though it gets quite busy over by the stones and by the Tolmen stone, you can just go just over these banks of gorse and sit in the sun, and nobody knows you're there.
no, and just listen to the water.
I've done sunbathing, let's say, over there, and then have a little splash, and
Yeah.
it's lovely spot.
It is a lovely spot, and again looks like a a solitary rowan tree up there ahead of us.
Yeah, I think it. Can't tell from here. By
Can't
the
tell.
bark. But do you remember earlier I was saying about when the sky breaks up, and you get these different shadows and lights playing
Yes.
across.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of it happening over
You
there.
see the light on the hillside there. Yeah.
Well, when the wind is stronger and they're just chasing across, it's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. It's a special area for sure.
I've got a photograph, and I wrote a haiku poem about one time I came up here and the water was just touching the stone, just kissing the stone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Must have been a
And
torrent.
it was wild down there.
Wild down there, yeah. Must have been, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how many feet that is. What, 2.5 feet?
Probably, yes.
Up.
Yeah, it's quite a deep channel as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Again, these wonderful stunted trees in hibernation.
Now that's a hawthorn.
That is a hawthorn, yeah. So the River Teem carries on down through the valley here, past the Tolmen Stone and further beyond that. So Kate's taking me over to a second clapper bridge, and
Oh yes, this is the other part of the river, or a different river, where they come together.
where they come together, merge. Yes, this is quite a bit bigger clapper bridge, and it's actually got some supporting stones in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it's a wider span, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's made up of two
bits of
big
granite.
pieces.
Yeah. Very impressive, isn't it?
I think we should cross it just in honour of its existence.
We should do that, indeed.
Look at the sun.
Oh, and the
lit
sun
bits,
on the
you see,
hillside
that's what
there.
I've been trying to
Yeah,
describe.
yeah,
It's just the contrast makes it
yes,
really lovely.
it does.
Highlights the
Yeah.
pale grass and
Well, I've been here with Kate Goad this morning. We've been looking at the Tolmen stone, and we're here at the stone to Scorhill, and we've happened across Alan, who is doing some survey work here, I believe. Yeah. And tell us what you hope to do here then, Alan, and what you further discover.
Thank you. Well, I'm doing a PhD at Exeter University part-time on the ritual landscapes of northeastern Dartmoor. So,
yes.
I was brought up in the area, so Scorhill's always been a favourite haunt anyway.
Yes.
And as part of my research, I'm conducting geophysical surveys
okay.
in March, hopefully. But because the vegetation's encroached on it quite a lot over recent decades, it was necessary to get that cleared back. So we've got conservation rangers here today helping with trimmers to clear the vegetation back. It's a bit intrusive, but hopefully the end result will be worth it.
When we arrived, the noise was pretty overwhelming. I thought, oh no. I'm a dowser as well, so I was going to get the dowsing rods out. But
that's interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm using geophysical survey equipment, but it is actually working on the same principle as dowsing rods. So
of course it is, yeah.
So
Devon dowsers have been out here a number of times, and various other sites across the moor. And this is one of the tallest stones, isn't it, in any of the circles?
Yeah, it is on Dartmoor,
right?
Certainly. It's,
It's
a wonderful piece, isn't it? Really.
Would some of the others been of this height then, do you think, originally, or?
I think from my own research, it seems that stones weren't brought very far, unlike some other areas where obviously Stonehenge being the classic example of blue stones.
Yeah.
But I think here they tended to use what was lying around on the surface.
Okay.
Or maybe quarrying from tors, as in the case of Sittaford and Grey Weathers, possibly.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it just depends on but certainly it is amongst the taller ones. I'm sure that would have been a feature of the original planning. So the tall stone and the shadows it casts across the circle.
Of course, yes.
Orientations and so on.
Yeah.
Would be, part of its design.
Some people say the uses could have been anything from cremations or celebrations or even astrological orientation. Is that right?
Well, yeah, and $64,000 question.
Yeah.
They probably, to be truthful, they probably meant different things to different people.
Yeah.
As populations came and went, they would have seen the work of their predecessors and probably had put different meanings on them.
Of course.
Maybe they would have altered them, or certainly would have used them in different ways, I suspect.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And maybe their original function was very short-lived. It was just the act of putting them up that was a means or an end in itself, really. So maybe a big festival, and everybody working together to put these stones in place, and that would have been
so sort of feasts and celebrations and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Ceremonial fires.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then people would have revisited then the generations and use them in different ways again.
Yeah. Well, Alan, it's a pleasure to have met you. We were a bit irritated by the sound when we got, but it's had a good ending.
Hopefully
meeting you.
It in the end. Yeah.